What's up, movie fans, and welcome back to DLMovieVlog, where tonight I am talking about my most anticipated film of the year with Logan. Now, this is a spoiler review, so if you have not seen the film, do yourself a favor. Go out and see it, and just be amazed by what you're going to see, because this film is absolutely amazing. Now, the storyline is that Logan is taking care of Charles Xavier. Now, Charles Xavier is probably one of the most powerful mutants in the whole entire world. But to think that somebody as powerful as him is going through dementia, ALS, is the scariest thing to think about. Well, Logan has taken it upon himself to take care of his father. And then a little girl comes into their life, played by Daphne Keane, whoever casted her should get so much money and so much praise because they have found a diamond in the rough. Just like how great Hugh Jackman was as first time playing Wolverine, Daphne Keane is just as good as playing X-23. And I absolutely love the way that this film begins, where you see Logan in his car, and this car is everything to him, as you can tell. And he's sleeping there, and somebody's trying to steal his rims. And he goes out there, and you see in him, he looks so beaten down by life. And he tells these guys who are trying to steal his rims to be like, hey, it's not worth it. Go home. If you go home now, we won't have any problems. And at that very moment, he just gets shot right in the head. Boom! Done, you would think. Well, this is fucking Wolverine, and he gets up in a glorious way. And something that looks like that shot that would have been so easy just for him to be like, walk off in previous time, that looked like it hurt really bad. And he tries to muster up the energy just to kill these guys after what they just did to him. And to see the way that when his claws are coming out, and to see the pain, especially for one that's barely even coming out, and he has to literally push out. It was something that I was not expecting to see. I knew that this was going to be Hugh Jackman's last time in the role, but I did not know how brutal it was going to be. Even though we saw the radar rating, we knew that this was going to be brutal. At that very moment, when he first goes and takes his claws and goes and kills a guy right in the throat, and then you see the claws coming out of the guy's head, and the way that guy was gurgling, you're just like, oh my god, this is absolutely disgusting and amazing. And the blood and the gore were not gratuitous anyway. There's no like time where like the shot just focuses in on the blood. Everything was done to a mature audience, so that there's nothing ever gratuitous in any way with any of the violence. And to see the way that Logan and Charles, how their relationship has evolved to a father and son relationship, is so beautiful. And to see the heartache that Logan is experiencing as he's seeing his father basically wither away and die is so heart-wrenching. And to see when Laura comes into her life and how it just rejuvenates Charles Xavier is amazing. Now, we do have a villain in here that's sort of a villain. It's more like the story just focused on our main heroes and said the villain is just an afterthought. And you had Boyd Holbrook playing Pierce. And this guy, when you first see him, he literally, in the first couple minutes, before you even meet X-23, he goes into Logan's car and he basically tells Logan, hey, I'm not here for you. So if we ever cross paths, if you just give me the girl or give me whoever I'm looking for, we're cool. Because I'm not here for you. I'm here for something else. And just to think that at the very moment when Pierce and Laura and Logan all have a confrontation the very first time, to see how Hugh Jackman, just his acting ability in these very moments where he knows either he has a choice of just getting Charles and just getting out of there, or protecting this girl. Like the conflict you just see in his face, and it's just his acting as Wolverine has never been better. And to see how at the very beginning he's just like, fuck this little girl, I don't need this shit whatsoever. And he's taking Charles, put him in the car, and he's like, all right, let's just go. Let's just go. And then to think that he could have easily just gone if the bad guys and the little mercs would actually let them go. But nope. They go after the little girl, and Logan knew what he had to do. And to see Daphne Keane in the way that, I don't know how much of it was her and how much of it was a stunt double. Probably a lot, because every single time she would do this, like, she would get on top of somebody and do this flip. Every single time you always saw it from the back, so you never got to see her face. But just to see the way that she plays this character, the way she holds herself. When you first see her, you just see her playing with the ball against a wall. And she looks so small and just insignificant. But the very moment where these guys go in to go and subdue her, and you hear all this guns going off and just all these screaming, and then you see her coming out, and you see in the trailer where she takes her bag and she just puts it on the ground in this badass way, and then the claws come out, and you got the guy going like, no, stop, like, really, stop. I love his metal arm that he has, the Pierce guy. Oh, his metal arm looks so cool. And to see her after she had this little engagement with Logan and Charles has really changed her life. And she's like, I'm going to protect these guys, and we are a family. Because that's one of the things about this film. It's all about Logan and Charles finding redemption in this little girl. And it's so breathtaking to see. And to see the way that 20th Century Fox had the balls to do this film, where most of the superhero genre has become so formulaic over the years, where it just becomes a drug just to watch. But after Deadpool, 20th Century Fox was like, I think we can actually make quite serious money doing a rated R film. So Hugh Jackman, in the middle of the night, he's sleeping, he has this bright idea for the story of Logan. And he goes and calls the director. The director says, oh, this is a great idea. And through that little meeting, or that little communication between Hugh Jackman and the director, they get up to the story of Logan. And then Deadpool happens. It just opened the door for so much change that could be coming in the superhero genre. So thank you, Deadpool, for changing. Looking like you're going to change the landscape of the superhero genre to come. And there's one subplot in particular that in most cases could have never have worked. And that's the subplot of Logan has a clone. This is an evil clone that literally, he kills Charles Xavier. And in most movies, if they would have went into this turn, it would have been so bad and so corny. But the way that the writers and the director have directed these scenes and constructed these scenes, it works. Because the moment you see Charles Xavier talking about the moment that he notices how bad his life is, or how much of a danger he is, and he's telling the story about how basically he killed the X-Men. And he's telling this story, and it's really powerful, and just you see Hugh Jackman all in a shadowy figure just sitting right next to Charles Xavier. And he goes, what looks like he's just going to put his hand on his chest, just being like, I know what you've been through, I love you no matter what. He curls it up and goes, and the claws come out, and he kills Charles Xavier. And then it's like, dun dun dun, Logan has a clone, and this is evil motherfucker clone, so you don't want to mess with him. At any point in that film, in most films, this point would have jumped the shark, and it would have just took me so far out where I've been like, fuck this film. This film jumped the shark. Just so stupid for it to do. But the way it was constructed, by the director, by the writers, it absolutely worked. And to see a young Hugh Jackman and an old Logan battling it out in a couple of scenes, it is absolutely amazing just to watch. And to see the way the cinematography is on every single shot, it's absolutely mind-blowing. This film has shocked and awed me. The only negatives I could really say for this film is that there's a couple of moments where they could have cut out, because you had a lull in there at the moment where Charles and Logan go to this family's house, and they have this nice intimate moment where Laura's finally seeing what a real family could be like, what a real family atmosphere is, and Logan is enjoying it, and so is Charles, and it's just a really time of peace. We get the whole clone Logan story arc, and then after that we finally get to our destination in the film, and there's another lull, but this lull is really, like, it slows down to a crawl, and it's just like, if there's a pee break that needs to happen, it can happen now. That's my only real negative in there. And also, the villains were kind of second hand and just throwaway villains. But the story between Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, and the ending to it all, to these characters of Logan and Charles, is something beautiful. And we know that we're going to see them again, played by different actors, but Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart went out on their terms, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I would recommend everybody go out and see this film, because it is worth every penny. My rating for Logan is an 8 out of 10. So if you like what you see here, please go subscribe. I'll see you next time on David Lee Movie Vlog.